Hi, I'm Sina and I'm a drummer.
Picture a young drummer's sticks tapping so fast they blur. Yet behind the flick of those cymbals lies a story far more complex than a simple rise to fame. That's the world of Cena drums, aka Cena Doering, the German-born percussionist who morphed from YouTube sensation into a professional musician, and found herself navigating copyright blockers, identity questions, and the shifting terrain of creator culture. In this report, we peel back the polished drum kit and spotlight what lies beneath, the hidden struggles, the controversies, the turning points. From childhood echoes of touring with family to relocating to London in search of musical purpose, this is Beyond the Beat. Let's begin. At just 2 years of age, she was already backstage on tour buses, yet no one clapped for a toddler's drum roll just yet. Born in May 1999 in Marburg, Germany, Sina Doering entered the world of sound via a musical family. Her father, Michael Doering, aka Mike Wilbury, was a live and studio musician. Her mother played piano and sang casually. By the age of 6, she appeared in a children's musical trailer as part of her father's work. She took up drums in 2009, training at Drummers, Inspiration in Krefeld between 2009 and 2016. In 2013, her father created the YouTube channel Cena Drums and uploaded her first drum cover of Dream Theater's Metropolis PT-1. Her early videos gained traction quickly, and she emerged as one of the most watched female drummers on the platform. This meteoric rise set the stage, but the journey ahead would prove far from straightforward. Yet what seemed like a straightforward path of talent plus platform equals success was already showing lines of complication, and those lines would deepen. When you've got millions of views, you assume the money follows. But what if it does? As Cena expanded from drum covers into original material, she encountered obstacles that few viewers noticed. Her platform success hinged largely on covers of well-known songs, works that brought huge view counts but left her vulnerable to copyright claims and ad revenue limitations. For example, although her recordings drew global attention, she could face monetization blocks when major labels flagged her usage of original artists' material. Sources confirm her video view counts soared into the hundreds of millions, yet earnings were far less transparent. At the same time, beginning around 2015-16, she began working toward original projects. The album Kaimite, 2016, gathered musicians from around the world under her banner. That shift created tension between her established role as YouTube drummer and her aspiration to be taken seriously as an independent artist, and it introduced hidden pressures, funding production, branding herself beyond cover girl, and dealing with the realities of streaming revenue and view economics. And though this phase marked a growth in creative control, it also marked her first confrontation with the gap between visibility and value. But that was not the only conflict she would face. Fame can freeze you in one mode. What happens when the audience expects you to stay in that box? As Cena's channel blossomed, questions started surfacing. Was she primarily a cover artist built for clicks? Could she transition into original artistry and avoid being pigeonholed? Critics and fans posed those questions. In the age of platform monetization and algorithmic favoritism, her experience highlights larger tensions. The technical prowess she displayed was undeniable, yet true artistic legitimacy in the mainstream world often requires original authorship, label backing, or touring infrastructure. Meanwhile, copyright and monetization complications tangled the equation. Despite hundreds of millions of views, the publicly visible metrics, her earnings and mainstream recognition didn't always match. That disparity triggered debate about fairness in the creator economy, when contribution and consumption diverge. Furthermore, as she moved towards self-published projects around 2020, the question of who gets paid and who doesn't in streaming culture came sharply into view. These controversies are less about scandal and more about structural friction, between talent, platform, and value. Coming up, the behind-the-scenes story that few saw. Talent alone doesn't guarantee direction. So what happens when you go back to school after YouTube stardom? Sina Doering didn't rest on her early success. In 2018, she completed an intensive full-time drum diploma at the Drummers Institute in Krefeld. From 2020, she studied jazz and pop drums at the RTZ Conservatory in Arnhem, and she obtained her Bachelor of Arts in 2024. Along the way, she collaborated with major names. She appeared as a guest drummer on tracks like Dear Life by Jim Peterick, known for Eye of the Tiger on the album Tigress, Women Who Rock the World. She also performed on stage in Europe, including touring for the Rock the Opera project, all while maintaining her YouTube presence. This phase embodies a shift from paid platform performer to credentialed musician, and it required juggling logistics, creative direction, self-branding, and the evolving identity of drummer. But even with credentials and collaborations secured, she faced a major turning point. Next, the crossroads she arrived at. Changing cities often signals a change in direction, and in 2024, Cena made a move that speaks louder than her drumbeats. After graduating in June 2024, she relocated to London, UK. This move posed the key question. Was she heading toward being a session drummer, a band front woman, a YouTube educator, or something entirely new? Some sources suggest a shift toward education or online teaching might be on the horizon, while others note fewer heavy tour and more studio or lesson-based work. The broader tension remains. The identity of a creator on YouTube versus the identity of a professional artist in traditional industry structures. Does one compromise the other, or is there a way to merge both? Financially and creatively, she exists in a space where platforms reward visibility, but industry often rewards originality, and the two systems don't always align gracefully. Her relocation and pivot suggest she's searching for a stable anchor, or maybe a new beat. What follows is about how her audience views that change. When you've built a name playing thunderous fills in front of millions, the silent question becomes, where do you go from here? Among her fans, there's admiration for her drumming technique and creative ambition. Yet there's also concern. Some ask whether she'll lose the relatable YouTube persona that drew them in, or whether she'll succeed in accomplishing broader recognition. Her story reflects larger dynamics in streaming culture, when followers equal views but not always wages, when platform algorithms reward uploads at the cost of depth, when creators struggle to convert attention into sustainable careers. The question is simply, what's next for Cena? But what's next for musicians in this hybrid creator industry world? Will she release a new album, launch a focus on education, find a niche in London's session scene, or maybe combine all three? For viewers and creators watching this journey, her path offers a case study of ambition, adaptation, and the business of beat. In summary, Cena drums rose from a drumming family background, exploded through YouTube covers, hit structural roadblocks around monetization and legitimacy, rebuilt via education and collaboration, and now stands at a new threshold in London, seeking purpose beyond just clicks and symbols. The deeper question she leaves: in a world where millions of plays don't always translate to value, how do creators define success? It's a question any musician, influencer, or creative can relate to. What do you, the audience, think? Will she break into a new chapter, or will the system she built around hold her back? Drop your thoughts below. Because sometimes the loudest drums aren't the ones you hear, they're the ones you feel afterwards.